second day of our session. Good evening, respected speakers, Director of BCIIT, faculty members, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the second day session of this faculty development program on generative AI and its applications in today's era. This FDP is organized by Banarsidas Chandiwala Institute of Information Technology, requesting all the participants to join on time and engage actively and ask the questions. Once again, I am thanking all of you to join this FDP. Soon we are starting our today's session, third session. It's an absolute honor and privilege to welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Nikhil Kumar. Nikhil Kumar is an lead experienced engineer at Publicis Group based in Toronto, Canada, with over 9 years of expertise in software engineering, software programming. He is the co-founder of blacktix.com, an AI-driven company that focuses on innovative technological solutions. An accomplished author, Mr. Nikhil Kumar has published two technical books showcasing his knowledge and commitment to advancing the field. His passion for education has led him to serve as a visiting lecturer for MCA students, where he has conducted numerous workshops on full stack development across various academic institutions, including BCIIT and LBSIM. Mr. Nikhil Kumar's dedication to fostering a learning community extends beyond the classroom. He runs a YouTube channel. At the name of the YouTube channel is at the rate Silent Nikka, which engages a diverse audience with content on technology and development practices. Mr. Nikhil Kumar has developed AI based applications that are actively used by thousands of users, demonstrating his ability to merge creativity with technical excellence. Thank you very much, sir. Now I am handing over to Mr. Nikhil Kumar, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for a very nice introduction, and I'm very privileged to share my information here. I hope I am audible here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen without wasting any moment further. So, 3, 2, and then here. Just please confirm if my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
It is
okay,
visible.
perfect. So today's session is on text generation and NLP. So the time we have given is just like around 1 hour or 1.5 hour. So sharing each and everything in this time period will not be enough, I know. So what I will do, I'll try to share all the possible information, and I will be covering some technical aspects, and I will be covering a technical demo as well, and a strong head start for the libraries where we can just directly go and try our hands on implementing these solutions for text generation and the NLP. So with that, we can start. So this image we have already seen at a lot of places, and this image, it just tells us that generative AI and NLP is a very small part of the artificial intelligence. So we already know about the hierarchy and everything about this picture. I'll not be wasting any time. I just wanted to share that generative AI, whether it is ChatGPT, Bard, or any other tools, those are the part of artificial intelligence umbrella. So I'll be starting with the NLP. So NLP is basically a natural language processing. So it tells it that if I'm communicating in French, it will not be accessible to all of the people who don't even know French. Earlier in the time, we already knew that we were writing the programming language in like machine languages and machine programming languages. Now we move to higher level programming languages, and now the time is there that we are giving instruction in a normal like Hindi, English, or other languages. Computer is able to understand and give us the responses. So the processing of these general languages, which is a natural language for me, Hindi, for somebody else, it is Malayali or Tamil. Even after that, computer is understanding and giving the responses. This is what NLP is. So NLP is what? Processing our natural languages and communicating and giving instructions to computer, and they are reverting back in the same languages. So with this era where we are right now, we can even communicate in the audio, we can communicate through video, we can communicate through text as well. Natural language processing is that part in a very easy language. This is the definition for natural language processing. And ultimately, behind the scene, uh, natural language is also being converted to programming language. Then it is going to in numbers. We already know zero and ones, and then only computer is understanding. But we have reached to the extent that we can share the information in natural language, and it is easily transferable to the machines. Next, like a real life application of NLP, we already have encountered and used a lot, which is chatbots, some translations like this Google Translate, and natural language processing is not so very new. If we have like Siri or other like Alexa and everything, those are also already been incorporated and giving us the flexibility to use natural languages because we are targeting and talking in Hindi and English, and they are processing it and giving answers to us. Ultimately, these all are software. So whenever we speak something that goes in a long process chain, it gets converted to numbers and then it gets responses from the machines. From search engines, from sentiment analysis, from email filters, we already know like separating out the spam emails from main folder, important folder, like primary folder to the spam folders. Search engines, we already know when we try to search something, it automatically completes us. Like if I'm trying to write what is NL, then it gonna tell me this NLP in the suggestions. So these all small applications we are using since years and years. This is all the part of this our natural language processing. Computer is understanding what we want to convey and is giving the responses accordingly. So NLP is solving what for us? We can see it helps machines to understand that what we are giving them and what we are getting back from them as well. Not only this, it is already enabling the automation task for us. Like if we are in one of our project, what we are doing is we have created bunch of images for Instagram, bunch of text for Instagram, and a bunch of posts for Instagram, and we have just stored at one place. We have written a model which is picking all the information and trying to improvise it automatically and posting on our channels as well for our clients, for our own channels. This is all happening because of this NLP model we have trained so far. Those are able to understand what we want to convey to our followers, what we want to convey to our clients, and it is already been automated. So it is working very fine. This is the power of NLP. The history of NLP, I'll not be going into very detail. I'll just cover the last part. If you really are interested about learning the history, you can definitely Google it and ask the ChatGPT itself. The important era is started from 2010 and it is still going on, where the BERT and GPT started behind the scenes, and now it is like the evolution is very fast right now. In 2025, you're gonna see lots of changes in software industries and like lots of companies still the there are AI based software developer, AI based QAs already been hired into the companies, and those are not the real human. but a machine who has been trained in a such a way that it can work like a software developer. You just have to give them a task. It will like break down the task. It will start coding in your project. It will run the test cases. It will do the automation testing, regression testing, everything, and it will mark the Jira ticket or on your board that that ticket is done. Lots of companies are already building these AI-based software developers, which are not the real human. So 2025 is going to be really difficult for people like me. Like the key techniques in NLP, I'll try to cover these all things very quickly, but these are important. So I try to keep these in a very short form so we can directly go to the demo of this application. So the key techniques in natural language processing are the approaches or methods used to process and understand human languages. So there are multiple ways. NLP is umbrella and that it has lots of techniques inside this. So these techniques provide the foundation for like solving the the inputs we are giving to them, the training we are giving to them, uh, like the translation, the processing of our request, whether this is programming request, automation request, or like if we are trying to analyze a data, like if we have pushed some document and we want to get the summarization of the whole document, then only we can do with this NLP as well. These rule-based NLP, statistical NLP, and neural NLP. I'll try to cover it very fast. So as we can see in the image itself, the rule-based NLP is basically manual defining a set of rules and process and that interprets the languages. So the process of this is like if you have created a chatbot for a bank. So according to bank queries, you have to give the inputs to it. Like for example, if you have a bank and if you want to implement a chatbot and you want certain questions to be feeded in for this chatbot, and you want your users to get the answers on the basis of the information you have put in. This is the rule based because you have setting some rule. And for example, like if somebody wants to inquire about like the account balance of their like account, you just can feed the information. Like if somebody writes accounts information, account balance, you're gonna give this response to the users or customers. There are definitely limitations and challenges. Like if somebody uses a synonym of accounts to something else, or like account balance to fund, then it will not process it. This is the rule based where we do the manual things. The statistical is basically we can understand from the name itself. This works on the basis of probability and the patterns we are giving to it. So for example, you can make a spam filter. Spam can be of any type in your email, and it can come up with the name like offers. It can come with the discounts and everything. So the statistical is like you have a good amount of data you have fed it in. On the basis of that understanding, it works for you. So you don't have to like fit in information and it will learn automatically. It has the limitations as well because for teaching this method, you have to feed in a lot of data. Apart from these slides, I just wanted to like one note down one point is that NLP or text generation or any AI based technology is never ever even powerful without the data. So there was an incident that when ChatGPT started picking up questions from internet about the programming languages or the queries, then it was picking up information of the data from Stack Overflow. We already know the Stack Overflow. Then Stack Overflow started removing their questions because they never wanted to share the information with ChatGPT or their tool. So the ChatGPT was becoming so powerful after reading their data. So without the data, that like any AI technology is nothing, which is a text generation or any technology AI which is generating some information for you for us. Uh, Neural NLP, as the name suggests, like it 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 is basically used into the deep learning aspects of our technology. So basically, you cannot fill up all the possible information. It has some capability of self-learning. So let's take an example of creating, let me come here. So let's take an example of creating a translation app. So we were already using the translation app like a Google Translate. So we feed the information in there and like the Google Bert or Google Translate, these are the apps. So it is basically enabling you for the real time, real world application. So solving like a practical questions, powering up your chatbots, voice assistants, search engines, machine translation systems as well. So it is basically bridging the gap between your rules and the learnings. So it starts with the rule based, but then it advances as the machine learning models that learns and adapt automatically. This is the model which is widely used in the recent applications like ChatGPT, for example. So we shared the key strategies. Now we are talking about the key models in NLP. And again, there are a few other models in the NLP, but I'm trying to cover which are very widely used and very commonly used. These are important whenever we are talking about the NLP. That's why I'm sharing these. And if you want to have the detailed and deep information, definitely reading a book would be a good choice about it. Sorry. So these key models are the frameworks or methods used to represent and process text data. Because our today's session is also including the text generation. That's why these models are important. So these models serves as a like a building blocks that help computer to understand whatever we are giving to them. They analyze and they also generate human language as well. So generating a human language is not possible without the machine understanding because it's ultimately a computer. It's going to give you whatever you give and it's going to return the same way. To make them a little adaptive and a little bit at the analyst side, we have to prepare these and set these models in the NLP, which is working automatically as well. So like the simple models focuses on the frequency or the importance of the words. So for example, this is the first, which is the bag of words and TF-IDF. So importance of the words, I'm gonna share a quick information in the next slide for this. Advanced models are like captures the semantic meaning and the context and the deep meaning of the whole conversations or the word framings, or we can see the transformers as well. So in the example I have already given, the bag of words, this counts the words and occurrences. So I'll just quickly cover this. So as we can see in the bag of words, this key model is basically does what? It is a bag and it tries to collect the information. So if I say I love apples and I love bananas, so what it's gonna say, it's gonna count each word. Like if I is twice, love is twice, and apple is once. So it's gonna collect all this information and matching word counts. So uh, if we can try to understand that whenever I remember one of the application we were building for a bigger company, I'll not share the company name, but they wanted their Twitter tweets to be analyzed and they wanted to information like how many people are happy and how many people are angry, how many people are sad and how many people are complaining about their product or the offers they're running on. So we built a system where we were reading like 20,000 tweets per minute or from the Twitter from all over the whole world, which is having the company name and the keyword. And we were generating the sentiments around that. And we were sharing those sentiments to the company's dashboard, where the company was able to understand that in a whole day, with 1 million of tweets about their company, how many people are happy, complaining, and appreciating their feedbacks. So there this bag of words was useful because this model was working very heavily on the large chunk of data. This transformers is basically a modern deep learning architecture. Basically, it used in a task like translation and text generation and summarization. And it uses the GPT-3 we have already used. Now the GPT-4o is already in the market. So it understands whatever we are trying to convey and then responds on the basis of the learning we have given to it. So this transformer is very powerful and we're going to see it in the practical slide as well. Impact of NLP, we already know I've already shared that it automates repetitive tasks for us. It enhances the accessibility. Accessibility is a huge topic in my company in Publicis Sapient. There is a huge department that is like completely focusing on accessibility because uh, I'll tell you the reason. And I also recommend all of the students, and whenever we take the interviews and I take the interviews of the students or the professionals, we ask the accessibility because in the past we have encountered that a single piece of accessibility power to our web app or mobile app increase the number of users, and it in the western side accessibility is very feasible because we have different kind of problems and special abilities in the people that they cannot access, read, and utilize the information over the internet. So whenever we enabled accessibility in our applications, whether it is mobile or web, it is highly appreciated, awarded, and then it increases the bandwidth of our users from the whole world. So accessibility is not just a good to have thing, it is essential. And using this NLP, where we just trained our model to perform like that way. So in that case, it works really well for us. So this is a very strong, I would say, impact of NLP. And we have seen the user experience in apps and software. So I'll tell you like a practical example. We remember that one of the low laws app we were building. Low is like Reliance Fresh in Canada. So they have an app where we can order their groceries online. With the help of this NLP and analysis we did over their website is that the people, thousands of people were coming on their website on a daily basis, but they were like having difficult time to process the whole order from the beginning to end. And after we analyzed and we implemented those analysis in the system, their sale got increased by millions. And it was just about placing one button to the right place. It was not there, it was somewhere else. And whenever we place that button, that user is moving mouse somewhere, but it is not there. We understood the like strategy, or we can say the process the buyers were following and were not able to reach to complete the order. Whenever we changed a minor button displacement to a right place, the sale got increased because they were able to see that okay, we have to click here and that's done. That we were able to do it with the help of learning the behavior of the customer, the way they were like surfing the website. So when it comes to the like demo tools, I'll be covering the OpenAI playground, which is exploring the GPT models. I know we already know, but I will try to cover it because might be everyone is not aware. Hugging Face Transformers Library, this is very important, which I'm going to cover in this session. So Hugging Face is a platform. Transformers is a Python-based library they have given to all of us. That is open source. By this library, we can build NLP applications. We have also utilized this Hugging Face Transformer library in the AI Lang which I have created recently, and more than like 1,500 students who are preparing for IELTS and self-pip, they are using it. We are learning the behavior for the like of those students, and this model is getting powerful automatically. This Google Colab is basically a cloud platform for executing our code. So sometimes the NLP models, those are so big in like in TBs and GBs, our machines are not capable running to them. So we use this Google Colab for demo as well. So now we are moving forward onto the demo section. Sorry, I'm not able to see the chats if there are any questions. So I recommend let me know if there are any questions. I'll try to answer. And so for the hands-on demo example, this is a very basic Python example, which I have given here. I'll be going in detail with this, but I just wanted to give a head start with this simple example. So we can see we are like basically we are uh, taking this transformers library. This is a Python, so we are installing with the pip. Then we are also importing the from the transformers. We are importing the pipeline, which is for the which is we are going to make further for sentiment analysis pipeline. So in the next line, we can see we are basically uh, training our model for the sentiment analysis. One thing I'll cover next in the coming slide is that if we are using a model, we can also train on the top of that model as well. So if a model is doing a sentiment analysis, but our scenario is something different, like I want to teach that to understand a certain kind of sentiments, then I can train on the top of that model as well. And that model become more powerful. And after having that capability, which was already there, we are topping up with the sentiments and the learning we are giving it to it. And after that, we are analyzing the sentimental of the sample text. Like I have given, like I absolutely learning, I also love learning NLP. And when I printed the result, it gonna give me that it is curious or wanted to be uh, want to learn the NLP like a positive sentiment. This was a very basic example, and I'm going to in detail. So now I would say this is the most important part of our presentation because this is going to give you a like jump start on building the real time NLP applications. So if you have already used GitHub, so Hugging Face is definitely GitHub for NLPs and models which you have created. So Hugging Face is basically a leading open source platform and a company which was started as a like a chatbot, but now it is a hub for all the models related to the NLP and artificial intelligence. So when I said this, I'll be going to the web and I will be sharing their interface as well. So uh, when we say like it hosts as a state of art machine learning. So state of art is like the current latest. When we say the state of art, it means like the current model which are being updated on a very regular basis. And when I said like it is open source, it means that if somebody has created a sentiment analysis model that is available on the Hugging Face, we can download and use it like the previous example which I have given. Even after that, if somebody is having some information and wants to give more inputs, they can contribute to that model to make it more powerful. That's why it is open source. And sentiment analysis is a very basic example. There are huge models which are doing very extensive tasks as well. So moving further here, and then we will definitely go to the next part where I'll be covering this. So the practical use cases of the Hugging Face. So before I go here, what I will do, I'll just go to the web. Just let me open my web and I'll share it. It's here. I'm bringing the Hugging Face on this so we can understand. Yeah. So I'll go to the Hugging Face homepage. If we can see, I'll just quickly summarize it for all of us. So we can just directly start whenever we want to create our very first NLP application. So as soon as we go here, we have to like log in and sign up. And then we can see on the top that it has models, datasets, spaces, posts, documentation. So this documentation is very well organized. And these are the models. So if I go to the models first, we can see that, for example, if I'm going to make an application which is audio, text to text, or maybe image text to text, or the application which we created was related to the language, natural language processing, because we were building the AI language, which is nothing but helping the CELPIP IELTS students to prepare their exams, and that is helping. I gonna demo that application as well very quickly. I'll take 2 minutes. So for example, if I take this text classification, As soon as I click this, I can see there are like 80,000 models already been prepared for us to directly use it. So for example, if I pick this, oh, I'm just randomly picking anything, it will tell us the information that in addition to the mathematical outcome reward model, it's going to give this all of information to us. It has been fine-tuned this time. Fine-tuning is what? I'll cover it in a I have created like a separate document to share the fine tuning. I'll cover in that. I'll not confuse everyone. So we can see we can directly use it has given all the information, last downloads, how many downloads are there. Model size is like 7.63 billion params is already been given to this model. So it can become so powerful and we can directly use it. These are the basic information about this random model which I picked up. Now, if I go to the docs, we can see docs of Hugging Face. The first thing is coming is this transformers. As I shared, this transformers is a state of art machine learning for Python and for JavaScript as well, because there were lots of front-end application which we were building, and not everyone was interested to use the Python library. So I will go to this and we can see what it says. It says like run transformers directly in your browser with no need for a server. It means you don't have to install anything like Olama. I'm going to cover in my next slide what is Olama is. So we don't have to install any heavy software. We don't have to install heavy data. Like think about getting 7.3 billion params file in our system and using that. That is not making any sense. We need like a huge computer for that. Now what it gives to us is sorry is like transformers JS is designed to be functionally equivalent to Hugging Face transformers Python library as I shared. It has all the power like natural language processing, computer vision, audio, and multimodal as well. So if we go here, it gives us two examples. One is the Python, one is the JavaScript. So I'll just directly go to the installation. We can directly install it like this way npm, because this is a front-end library, so we need the like node package manager for installing this, or we can use it like directly in the script tag in HTML. These are the pipeline to be created. And before going further in this, I'll just directly these are the very basics of creating this. So let's take an example of creating a React application. They have already given the application samples to us. So if I go back to getting started, and sorry, if I go to the custom usages, they must have given something to us. Yeah, uh, I think it should be here, the React application. Yeah. So if we can see, this is the app which is going to be built after we follow their instructions. So the model they have used, we can see the demo site as well. Let's see the demo site. First of all, just quickly show. It won't take much time. So I said like I love walking my dog. I will choose Hindi, that I want to translate it to Hindi. And as soon as I do the translation, this loading model is happening on the very first time. It's not going to happen for all the time, because the models are very heavy and they cannot kept it loaded already for all of us. That's why they when we first initiate the request, they loads from the server and then do the job for us. So like if I just convert it, I'm sure it's not going to take that much time again. There are no loading of models, and it automatically translated for all of us. So if we can see, if you have already like used the translate or Google, oh sorry, translate or Google or dot app, this app is there for like more than a decade, I would say. And this application from Google do the same thing which this application is doing. Sorry, yeah, here. So if we can see this application, which is given by Google, is doing the same thing which we just directly checked in the demo. When Google Translate for making this app, they spent millions and billions on like completing this app by training data, by giving all the information. But now the developers from all over the world has trained this model to work like the same. Now you are capable to like make this application in just one click. You don't have to spend millions, and you don't have to go beyond your limitations of coding or learning all those things. So if I go further in this application, these are the basic steps of setting up this application. The most important part I want to see in this app is the model they are using. So we can see they're using this model. So this is the model they have used in this application about uh, all after their basic configurations in the app. And if you're really interested in building this application, just click any of your interesting programming language. Click here, follow their instructions like initialize the project like this way, install this app, then run your application. Your basic application should be running. Now go to the next part and install the transformers.js like this way. And then further, they are making a worker.js where they are directing us to set up a model and the instance as well. So when now we know that they have done all the things which we wanted to do, we are already sitting on the top of the information. We just had to consume the model of our choice, whatever the application we are building, and we can use it. So now the next question is, and these are all the steps which you can just follow directly, and you can make this application. But if you're not interested by following each file, you can just go to the source code directly like this. They have the folders like the SRC, and you can just copy their files and make your own application. That's it. So everything will be there. And not only this, they have like all the different other applications as well, like example, code completion, cross encoder, maybe uh, extensions they have built, or like a token as a playground they have created, text to speech client. These all application you can directly use, and these are open source. If you're building a bigger project where you needed a module to translate, you can just copy this and use in a bigger application. Now, moving further, the next question you might be having, that I have used this model. For example, when we were building this AI language website, I'll just quickly demonstrate it. Let's take this. So this is the website we recently created. So here what we do, if I go to the self-pip is basically a exam required to take the permanent residency, or if you want to take admission in any of the Canadian colleges, then you have to pass either self-pip or IELTS. These are the English test. So for preparing those tests, you need to practice a lot because they have four sections. So for example, I'm taking a writing section. I'm taking like evaluate my answer. So whenever we write any question here, and whenever we choose the duration, like at what time we have to give, and the timer start, and we start writing that. So as soon as we click the analyze or solve the answer, the request goes to the server where we have set up our model. After that, it gives us the result, like what was the grammatical error, what were your accuracy, coherence, connectivity, phrases you have used, connectors you have used in your languages. All the parameter comes in, and then it gives the summary of the answer a student has written in this. So we used a model, and now on the top of that, when we were discussing that, we were directly utilizing this model. Now the next question which I wanted to share is about training the model, right? So we used a model. Now I created this document to summarize. Like after creating the model, if you remember, I was talking about the fine tuning our model. So fine tuning is what? We used a model which was there for like translation, for like giving the responses to the questions or the answer student has given. Now we found that that model was not capturing some of the information. So we had to train that model. So training an existing model is called a fine tuning that model. So for example, I showed this in our demo. So when we were training, so like for example, this model was not having the power to translate English to French, and maybe it was not capable to write a very native word. Maybe like taking an example of a Mathili language where some of the words are not even available on the Google Translate. but we are giving a very native or powerful app which can convert the Mathili language to English. Then we have to tell that model that you don't have this word, but we are going to teach you. So for that example, I have created this. So I have created a hello, and I'm saying the hello means like a bonjour. So it means I can create a CSV file, I can create a JSON file, and that file can be a long or huge file where I have given some translation for Mathili to English or English to French. And after that, what we're gonna do? We're gonna install the transformer dataset. And after the dataset, I have taken the Python example because we built our backend into the Python. We use this tokenizer, and then after that, we just tokenized our the process we just did. It might be looking very complex, but when we go line by line, it is very easy. So we just replace our path to the actual file like this way, JSON file, and the path of our file which we have created. And then we create the functions like that. And then in the function, we set that the inputs, and these are the targets for our replacements. The model inputs are going with the maximum length and truncation. I'll be covering these keywords shortly. Maybe this is code. I'll share this document, and then fine tuning our model. So now there might be more questions because I had that time the questions, so I have written it for you. So as we have saved the model and used it, and now use our fine tune model. So instead of importing the model which we used here, like this one, we're gonna import our created model like this. If we can see uh, here, this is the model which we have created right now. Now the question is, these are the summary of the things which I have written here for the reference. The first question is, when I have trained my model on the top of existing model, will that model be and then why I'm importing my model and not the existing one? Because we have extended the existing model. Now we are importing our model. It means it has already the power of existing model. In addition to that, the power of the training which I have given to this model as well. So this covers both of the knowledge which is having in this model, and we can directly use it. And yeah, there were a few queries which okay, I think I have already covered this. Going back, so I'll just go back here again. I just wanted to share. So this is basically I'm having an extended screen so that it might be possible that you might uh, me seeing as I'm looking like away, but I'm looking on the screen. Sorry for this. And then the next part. So we have covered this hugging phase. Hugging phase is not a small deal, it's a big deal. If you're starting up with NLP, with machine learning, or with text generation. So whenever you are like quite comfortable and you actually want to get away from the theories and you actually want to try your hands by creating an application, this is the place, hugging phase where you have to just directly go and start building your application. Next, we are going to cover. Okay, let me go back to the PPT slide. Yeah. So, text, as we have seen, like the practical use cases for Hugging Face. Uh, so the text generation, we already know. And when we comes to text generation, now I'll tell you the like why I should not be using the completion API. Okay, one more example I want to give before I go further in the slide. The completions API in OpenAI, sorry. So basically, as we chat on here, like here, if we see, or maybe if I open this chat, so if I'm writing, if I'm writing anything here and I'm hitting the enter, the request goes to the OpenAI server and it gives us the result. Like if I say, write an example for using transformers library in JavaScript. As soon as I have given this request to ChatGPT, it has started giving the response to us. Now the real question is, if I actually want to use this power in my application, then I'll have to use the completions API. So if we can see, if I have to write about give an example of
Sir,
using the
there is
yeah,
one question.
yeah.
How to fine tune the transformers model?
Oh, so um, but we are not required to like this is a very huge question, I would say. Transformer is basically giving us the capability to use other models. It is not self-powerful. It's like a it's like a way to use other models. So I don't think so we can train the transformer models. And I don't even think that we have some requirement or practical use case to train the transfer models, because there are lots of models that are being used by the transfer models. That's what I can say right now, but maybe we can check here only. How can we like train? Is it? Ah, this case. So let's see. Uh, yeah, it can be trained. I didn't know because I was not having any use case for this. But yes, as per them, you can train the transforms model as well. Yes. So whoever asked this question, uh, please share your use case with me as well. And the next thing's completions API example in React. Give a basic example. So with this thing, I just wanted to share you that whatever we write here, it goes to the OpenAI and OpenAI gives the answer to us. But what about if we want to use the API directly in our application and we directly want to communicate with OpenAI according to our question and we don't want this ChatGPT interface for us. So for that, they have exposed their completions API. So if I go here and if I share my dashboard and if I just log in very quickly, and if I go here on the billing section, so we can see right now we have a balance of $8.8, but we have like recharged it a lot of time. So ChatGPT is also not giving their completions API for free. You have certain context like the way if you are using on the browser with 4.0 after certain questions that becomes a paid and it is not able to answer you. So this billing is not directly using for the chat GPT, but for using their completion API. So I just go back and I will share a quick example where it was. Sorry, I missed. Okay, it's here. Sorry about this. Okay, maybe I'll just open another chat GPT and I will share it. Basic completions API example. Uh, Let it write and then we will move further to our next very important slide. So here we can see that here, this is the important information which I wanted to share. We can see this is the completion API that we used in a normal like the XCS, or you can use any other like fetch API in front end to hit a post call or get call. With that, we are giving it a prompt like the way we write. This is the maximum tokens authorization like the bearer token. This you will get only after you register on the dashboard, which I have just showed to you. And after that, we can see if somebody tries to write something, we're going to get the response the same way ChatGPT is giving to us. So if you want to create your own ChatGPT interface in your way, or maybe a chatbot or maybe something else in your website, you can just write this very basic code simple. This is the only file you have to create, and then your own chat GPT model will be ready for you to use. So for that, you use the completion API. If you have some audio, uh, if you want some audio capability, they have, or like image generation capability in ChatGPT, they have generations API instead of this completion API, where you give your model name. I don't know why they have not given it here, but you have the parameter. You can write the model name, whatever you want to use. 3.5 turbo. 3.5 turbo is very fast, but it varies in the result. 4.40 is very consistent, expensive as well, but it gives you a very consistent and relative answer all the time. Now, yeah, let's go back to the presentation. I'll just focus on the current slide. Yes. So already we have already seen like the text generation we can use with these sentiment analysis we can do, and this is about the Hugging Face use cases. So any of your, if you're having any of the use cases, you are ready to be directly you're already full power to make your application according to your, so question answering, if you are making a chatbot or something like image captioning or reading the image as well, you can do with that. You can generate the images as well. Like I know behind the scene, whenever you try to generate an image from ChatGPT, it uses the DALI API to generate an image for you. So that's why they have given a generative generations API for generating an image. Now GPT versus Hugging Face. We already know what is GPT, as I showed the completion API and generative API example. But the huge difference I'm going to tell you, which I could understand when we were building the AI language in the starting, we used the completions API of the ChatGPT. That's why I was able to show you the billing. That was the billing of like every 3 or 4 days. We had to recharge our like OpenAPI account for $10 or something. Sorry. So what was happening for each request, whenever we hit on the ChatGPT, the amount of text we are giving it to it, each word is a token. For each token, they charge you some cents. So if you are requesting the ChatGPT to write a poem, there are 5 words that is costing you. In the response, if it is giving you a 300 words long paragraph, each word is costing you. So ChatGPT is not free. That is very expensive. For each request, for each word, it is charging you. That's why it became like a billion-dollar company. Now, when we talk about the Hugging Face, because when we were hitting the API of ChatGPT, we were going to their server, open API, we were getting the response. This travel was expensive, but the Hugging Face replaced all of these information like the cost control, customizability, transparency, no vendor lock-in. Like if I'm using the ChatGPT in my application, the open API, and if that shuts down, my application will also shut down for that period. Offline hosting, wide model chains. I think these all are self like uh, understanding terms, but I will just quickly share why I had written these. Whenever I talk about the Hugging Face, I was not calling any API. I was installing their model, their transformers model, their language model in my project. And after installing those like a normal NPM package, I can deploy those to my server, and I'm not dependent on anything. I can train those. That's why it is customizability is there. Transparency is like whenever they are doing OpenAI something, we don't even know what they are changing in my responses. But in this model, which I have already downloaded and using, these are not going anywhere. I have the full transparency, like whatever I showed on the website, like fine tuned and then fine tuned. So I can go there and check how it is fine tuned. And I'm not even going to install the latest version if I don't need it. No vendor lock-in. I know I can go behind and check the code. Offline hosting, as I shared, I don't have to use the Open API. and I can directly host on my server, on my premises, and then I can use this and wide model choices. With the ChatGPT, I don't even have a choice. I write a question that goes to their bigger and biggest pool that filters out and gives back the information to us. In the Hugging Face, I already know what kind of capability I need in my application. So I directly go there and use it. That saves power for our infrastructure as well, because I don't have to search in a huge pool. I don't have to search. I just have to search in that direct pool which I have installed, like the language model or image generation model like this. Now the second, the another technical perspective is Olama. Olama, why I have highlighted this Olama is because if you have a huge organization and so Olama is basically a platform designed to learn users to learn large language models like the LLM. When we say the large LLM models, it means these are in TBs or probably in GBs as well. Or if we talk about the params, these are like billion params. So these are trained on the billion params. Now, this needs a local infrastructure. Like if you're working in a company where you don't, if you're searching something, you don't want that this information should be going beyond the boundary of your organization, you can in-host this Olama uh, model in your company. With this, it is also having the power, it is also having different models, and it is almost like you can say with almost like uh, Hugging Face, but with huge data, with less customization capabilities, and it is heavy. So hosting this, using this will be really difficult. You, if you have a very specific use case, then only you should go to the Olama, because Olama is mm, heavy. This is what I can say. I just wanted to share about the Olama. So far, I have not encountered any practical use case in any of the projects we have built so far. That's why we don't know the actual practical use case for this. But yes, this is also very powerful. So you have to install and set up a server on your local premises, and then only you load a model of any of the model you want to use, and then you can locally chat with this. The responses from the Olama is fastest ever. Like in the chat GPT, when I was writing a question, it was like writing line by line. When you write anything in the Olama, it just give you like milliseconds because you have already installed everything on your system. That's why.
Sir,
It
there
is
is one
private.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, one question. How it is efficient than other LLMs?
Then the other LLMs, the Olama, right?
Yes, she has not written. She has asked how it is efficient than other LLMs. Yes,
So,
Olama.
okay. So it is definitely efficient from other models. If I compare with if I compare with like, if I compare it with ChatGPT, for example, you cannot install that. You cannot give it a restriction that in the organization, if you want to build a company wide platform where your employees can interact with that, paste your project's code and get the responses. For example, it is not allowed in any of the organization to go to the chat gpt, take out some code from your project, paste there, and ask this to write the test cases, because now you are giving a security threat to the project which the company is building. Think about a banking project. Bank also want to use uh, AI capabilities, but with this Olama, if we install it and if we are writing something, it is staying within your organization. That's how it is different from other LLM. In comparison to the large language model, Olama is very powerful because the pool and the size of this is very huge, and you don't need to like fine tune these because it has the all complex capabilities of all like LLM machine learning pipelines already built. So I think this is a restriction for Olama, but for other models, maybe you can train those. So these are few differences with Olama and other models, which I just compared. Now, I don't think so. I'll just quickly recap what we have learned so far, and then we will go next to our next slides. I think we still have time. So NLP is basically machine to understand our languages. Text generation, I'm gonna cover in the next slide. Hands-on tool, we have already learned like the resources from the Hugging Face. We have seen the Hugging Face tutorials, and we have like seen the speech and language processing. I have not covered specifically for the Jurassic and Martin, but these are the models given there. Online tools like the Google Colab. So I have to still show you the GPT one, Google Colab. Let's see if the time persists, we can check. So now we are coming to the text generation. So basically text generation refers to the ability of like a machine or computer or any of our devices to communicate with us or generate text like a human way on the basis of human language. So if I say it something in my native language, uh, in Hindi or in any other language, it's gonna understand and respond me in the same like way. So text generation is basically a key application of natural language processing. So text generation is nothing different, but it is a very prominent and main part of our NLP to create like interactive apps, chatbots, or offline human writing articles, or maybe creating blogs, writing the scripts or anything. So I think we have covered the technical part of this, how it works, but I'll try to cover this. So, because these are important and might be also that everyone is not aware. So, so it gives the ability to machines to generate human language interfaces. The key goal is like to generate a meaningful and contextual data. So think about it like how machine is able to understand whenever I want to ask something, it is giving me in the same context. uh, this is very powerful. We don't even acknowledge this power of machines with the text generation, but this is really powerful, and it takes a lot of complex and like complex coding. The way it returns the favorable text generated reports or the blogs or the articles we want to write. Today, you just go there, and even I could make this PPT from ChatGPT. I just had to write like tell me everything about NLP, and then later create generate a PowerPoint slide for this for me. So whenever we write these two instruction, first it goes to the server understand what the user is saying. It generates it just like uh, scratch or find out the whole pool from where the best possible information can be taken from. Generate the text. Now whenever I say like generate a PPT, what it does, there's no magic behind generating a PPT. It creates a Python program behind the scene because I have given an instruction like generate a PPT for me. Generating a PPT or writing to any file needs a backend language. I cannot do it with JavaScript. So either I need Java, either I need a Python. So uh, OpenAI uses Python. As soon as I give this request goes to the server. Server says, okay, I have to take this information, generate a PPT, and generate a downloadable link for the user. PPT program is start, and then the program is not already there in their system to generate this. They write the program basically. So I can show it right now as well. The Python program started writing, create a file, generate a file, write this context, sequence this in each slide, create a PPT kind of document. After writing everything, generate a downloadable link, just set that file to a server, create or like a href link to that link, the clickable link to the user. As soon as we click that, the link request goes to their server and file gets downloaded. That these all things happens behind the scene whenever we do. So this ChatGPT is doing this, and we have already seen. I think we don't have to go these again theory concepts. The history again with the ChatGPT, as we can see, the real evolution happened from 2010. I completely remember when I was working in 2012, and there was one employee. who joined our organization from Microsoft. He started the natural language processing there. That time I was not even aware since 3 years what was happening in that, because it needs lots of calculus, mathematics to start from the scratch. So when he was starting, it was around 2012, and we can see 2010 was the time. From there, everything started happening on a large scale. And how does basically a text generation works? So as we can see, whenever we write, I already explained it. So anything which we write is basically a token. So each word is going to be tokenized, goes to the server, and their OpenAI server tries to predict. Like if I'm saying, write like once upon a time, if I write this, for example, then I just hit the enter and it's gonna complete the story. How does this even happen? We haven't even asked like what you have to do. With this case, everything is like programming. So what happens? Each token is encountered separately. It takes and then combines those and try to understand the context of that. And then it tries to predict the next word. So once upon a time, and then it gonna predict anything randomly from its understanding. So this works on the like probability that what you're gonna get. You will never get the same output until you fine tune your model. So ChatGPT always gives you the random result for the same question if you keep on asking. So the basic example here is like as soon as I input like write a poem about the moon. So the tokenization step, what will happen? It will break each word into a separate token. Then the model will process the input. So it predicts the next token. Like it can predict anything. It's a probability. So whenever I write like write a poem about a moon, it can say like glowing, it can say like shining, sparkling, anything. And then after that, prediction iteration works in the sequence after each word. So it can say like the glowing moon shines bright tonight, like this way. So the output combines the readability text, which will be the complete outcome. And then yeah, we can go to the practical demo for this. I think I've already whenever I write like create a completion API example, it was writing that. And for that, it didn't have to predict because the model was already prepared for that thing. So it was no prediction. But for these creative inputs, the model predicts the output. So if I talk about the basic flow of text generation, so we give a prompt, we call it as a prompt, and then language model that understands the pattern from the training data and predicts the next word phrases, which I have just given. The output is limited, the amount of tokens we have given it to it, then it gonna give. The applications of text generation is basically our we already know, like we can generate, we can make a chatbot. We actually built a chatbot. I will show you right now. We can create the quizzes, we can even create the like we can even create a social customer support representative by feeding all the information, and that will work for you. So these are the params which I'm going to share right now. The maximum length, if you have seen, whenever you ask something, it tries to give you all the information and then it says like continue generation. So whenever you continue generation, it's not going to give you the whole like huge data. It always give you a less data, then you continue, then it gives you another chunks of the data, which is the maximum length of a tokens that we have to take care, because if you're not like giving a maximum length, then your bill will be huge. The number return sequences is like the number of text outputs you want to generate. So there is a very minor difference. I'll just go to the dashboard and show it to the temperature. This thing is very important. So it controls the randomness. So when we were making the AI language, we wanted the students to write their answer and or maybe generate the answer for their question. So every time the answer was generating different, every time the way OpenAI was answering was different. It was not giving the overall score in the starting. Sometimes it was giving in the end. So what we had to do is like we had to lower the temperature. How we give the temperature, I'll show you. So if you remember, I showed you the completion API example where there was a token size written where we can write the model name, we can write the temperature. temperature is always given into the fractions like 0.1, 0.2. So the lower the temperature, the less will be randomness as well. So let's go to that again on the browser and I will show. Mm, maybe here, I guess. Yeah, we can see the temperature here. So this is basically the OpenAI platform they have given to us where we can chat directly and we can even select the models. The URL for this is playground, basically ChatGPT playground, and you can select the model you want to use, like the audio model, maybe mini or anything like a 4.0, and then you can set the temperature. The lower the temperature is, the less the randomness is. Maximum tokens, as per them, it should be like 2048, but in starting we kept it like at around 3600 because we wanted a certain length of answer. This is the basic configuration. This completions we can see. So completion as we can use their latest models like this way. Yeah. Mm, what else I have to share? Okay. So yeah, one of the applications we created, I just wanted to share this like this learner.live. This is also basically using the same way. So for example, what we do, we created this for like students. So if I build something like a very random, I don't even know I'm writing. And whenever I do the solve board, so it's gonna tell me that a drawing of an Eiffel Tower. I didn't even say this that what is it? Like think about of your child if he's just like using mobile instead of using mobile, if he tries to like draw anything and click the solve board, it's gonna give the result like okay, this is Eiffel Tower and it is in Paris. A basic learning. This is all happening because of like uh, image uh, generations and the API we use. I cannot recall the name, but it is like we are giving a random image. It is transferring the data, and then it is giving the result from the API itself. So not only this, we can just like write anything. I'm not promoting this, but I'm just trying to share that how powerful it is. It is just a logo, and whenever I write this, it's gonna tell me that it is an Amazon logo, and there are like thousands of logos. So the power of this is very strong, and we use the completion API here as well.
Sir,
This,
there are
yep,
two, three questions.
sure.
Uh, how temperature value can be considered or set any criteria? Which is the best free AI tool for making PPT with images?
Oh, so there are lots of tools, and ChatGPT is one of them. You can just write anything on the ChatGPT and ask to create the PPT for that, and it will create a PPT. For example, if I go here, and there are tools to create that. Create a simple article about machine learning. Sorry, and let's test it here. Machine learning, and then simple. Uh,
Sir, she is saying with images.
with images. Okay,
Not for
so
making PPT with images.
I think there are lots of, I have used those, but nowadays because there are lots of tools, it is hard to remember the name. But after the session, if I have some email ID or something, I can share the number of tools. There are lots of, I know. I have used even for generating images. I have used even for creating the videos in the PPTs as well. So from text to image, whenever I was like had to write a context, I written that I selected a model like a person who was sharing that information, and then it also shared that information. Uh, like it is spoke that context which I have given, and I could download that. So I'll share the names of those. I don't have those on my tips.
Okay, one
Yeah.
more question. Sir, can you show the demo how to generate the online quiz and the summary of the quiz
How to generate an online quiz and a
and the
summary of the
summary
quiz.
of the quiz?
Generating an online quiz, I couldn't understand. Like you wanted to create a full application, or you just want the context, like the number of questions, or the whole software where you can just select next and get the output. These are two different
Uh,
things.
Maheshwari
I
M,
hope
you can raise your hand and can ask.
I hope it could be a quiz on a particular topic and
Mhm.
then generate a summary of that particular quiz. I hope the question could be such. Otherwise,
Or
we
she
could,
can, yeah, she
yeah,
can raise her hand and can ask.
yes, we can allow the mic to the attendee so that the question could be raised by the attendee itself.
Quiz for the particular topic.
Yes. One more question from my side. Uh, Good evening. This is Sonia Batra. Mr. Nikhil, one question from my side. We have a new concept these days coming up called as explainable AI. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes. We have a another concept called as explainable AI these days.
Mm-hmm.
So, generative AI and explainable AI, aren't they harnessing the security to some extent?
They are definitely doing it, and uh, I think I attended the last session yesterday, where like one respected teacher was sharing about the uh, vulnerability and doubts about the security and the ethics. I added that slide, but then I removed it. Definitely, they're doing it. That's why companies started building their in-house API, in-house AI powerful apps. So within my company, they have a separate portal now where they are giving us the DALI, Adobe Fireflies, ChatGPT, for they have created the like the PS chat to avoid all these security concerns. There are, so it is all like always advisable to not to share any personal information. Although you at this time, whatever I'm speaking, my mobile is able to understand, even it is logged. So security threat is everywhere. Even whatever you're doing on your browser is being recorded all the time. So, but it is not coming up. That's why they are preparing their data. So these two things are definitely dangerous. So it is not advisable to write personal information nowhere. Like nowhere. You don't have to. You should not be writing nowhere in the internet enabled application. Yeah, that's what I can answer. So that's why we
Thank
do not
you.
expose our APIs as well, or the token as well, like for the OpenAI token. I remember for one of my colleague, what happened, they pushed their code to the GitHub, and in their code they were having uh, the Open API key in their code, and as soon as they woke up in the next morning, their bill was like $2,100 because somebody used that and like hit millions of requests.
Yeah, correct. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. If I can stop sharing and open the Teams. Yeah.
Yes, any other questions? Please raise your hand. Any other query?
Like if you have any other questions, mm, or like if you want to discuss, or if you're creating some applications and you're starting up with AI or NLP, or if you have ideas, feel free to email me on my email ID or message me over Instagram or anywhere. So I can give whatever input I can share.
Can you share your email ID on the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Once.
It's this. And of course, my YouTube channel is with this. So I request everyone to please subscribe. I always try to share the important information there. Recently, I'm running a self or English series. Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
welcome. So
Any
if
other
there are,
query for anyone? Any question?
No other query, ma'am? We can wind up the session.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
okay, thank you everyone. I hope it was helpful. And again, I'm sharing. You can email me anytime and connect with me, and I will be happy to share or work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nikhil.
Okay,
On
thank
behalf of
you.
Thank
BCIIT,
you.
Okay, thank you very much for such an informative and valuable session, Mr. Nikhil sir. Our next session 4, is on image generation in NLP.
I request all attendees to join the sessions on daily basis. For the certificate, it is mandatory to maintain your 80% attendance for all the sessions. So kindly attend all the sessions. They are very valuable to all of you and would gain much of the information from these sessions.
Okay, ma'am. Can we start our next session now?
Yes, ma'am, we can start with the next session.
Our next session 4, is on the image generation in NLP. And our speaker is Mr. Rajiv Dave sir. Rajiv Dave sir co-founded the startup Hunch Software Private Limited and the Hardware Education Center MicroAid, which unfortunately did not succeed. With approximately 25 years of experience in the IT field, he has successfully led projects in areas such as mobile, Oracle apps, IoT operations, middleware, AI ops, and more at NCR Corporation India Private. Currently, he is leading Gen AI and innovation at NCR Voix. Described as a master of many trades, Rajiv, Rajiv sir enjoys learning new technologies, exploring spiritual thoughts, and has recently developed an interest in trekking. Despite past challenges, he remains confident that he will start a successful startup even if it is not necessarily in the IT domain. So, thank you, Rajiv sir. Now, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Pallavi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we
sir.
can.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. So let me start it. Not sure why my camera is. Let me share my screen. I'm not sure why my camera is not working perfectly. Okay, so okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me jump directly to the topic, especially. Uh, so thanks everyone for joining this session, and good evening to all of you. Um, Although it is a late session, uh, maybe for all of you, but my office timing is 12 to 9, so I'm in office right now. I'm taking a session from office only. Okay, so from uh, although I would like an interactive session, but there's if you have any question, especially you can directly type in, and or you can ask me later. For my profile, you can directly go and check my LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is on the same name. What you can see on the screen, Rajiv H. Dave. Uh, so image generation in NLP. So um, uh, let me start with this. Can you, um, all of you, if suppose uh, need to generate this image, so what should be your prompt, especially if you need to generate this image? So what should be your prompt? You can directly type in chat. Uh, Anyone, what should be your prompt? Or you can tell here also. Anyone from you this? What should be your prompt for writing this? Anyone, please. You need to generate this image. So what you will ask to Chat GPT or Ballet or any other AI tool? Anyone, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir,
me,
we can
Pallavi?
hear you. Yes, sir, we can
Okay,
hear you.
okay.
We have the
Anyone?
answers in the chat window, like Panda typing in laptop, a Panda
Okay,
sitting in his laptop,
okay.
a beer
Good.
working in laptop.
Okay. So uh, now we will see that how exactly behind the scene it is happening. What exactly is going on this behind the scenes. So I'm just sharing you uh, a very small piece of code. Can you see the code here? Very small piece of code.
Yes, sir.
So this is my Jupyter notebook, and I'm just running this code because this code will take some time. So side by side, this code will run, and we will cover the PPT only. So the prompt is a panda sitting at a desk writing code, right? So this is a prompt I have been given to my this particular project. So let's run it here and see. By the time, just we will wait. So let's move it, this particular code. I will explain this code. This is a very simple code, but you need to understand what is happening overall in a backend, especially. So this is running. By the time it is running, let's have a session on this. So why it is taking a time, my code? Anybody can explain that why it is taking a time, my code? Why I'm waiting for the output? What should be the reason? What may be the reason? Do you think that if you ask the chat GPT, it will take so much time? Anybody? No? Why it is this
I
my
hope
code is taking so much? Yeah, please go ahead.
I hope the chat GPT would generate it immediately.
Yes. Why my code is taking a time? I'm running a
Uh,
code in my machine. Yeah. It should give me result as soon as I've entered, right?
I think
Image
it
image size is high, sir, and mining of image it takes lot of time. Chat GPT does only with text.
Chat GPT now also create the image for you. So if you will type, it will give you the result within a 10 second or something. Now you can ask Chat GPT to create an image. But why the chat? Normally, Chat GPT will take only 5 seconds or 10 seconds. But if you can see my code, it is still running. Can you see this? This is still running. Anybody? Very simple answer. I hope that you all know these things. Simple question and simple answer. And you know these things. I know. Okay, let me tell you. Actually, the problem is that my processing speed of my CPU, right? So you know that is GPT and every other tools is working on GPU. It is not working on CPU, right? So, but this code which I have written and running, it is running on my CPU. It is not running on my GPU. Why? Because my laptop doesn't not have a proper GPU. So normally, for running this type of code, you should have a NVIDIA GPU installed in your laptop. It should be in your laptop, especially. But because I do not have a GPT in my machine right now, or even it's very costly, NVIDIA, and even the GPU machines is very costly, so I'm running it here. The CPU I'm using, the CPU takes time, and you can see it is still running. 24% is completed right now. Okay, so that is why the Chat GPT and every other Gemini or any other tools are using the GPU, but I'm using a CPU for running this. So they process it fast compared to um, my CPU. Okay, so behind the scene, how does it work? So I'm just typing a prompt. Here the prompt is a panda sitting at the desk writing code, right? So this instruction I have given to my uh, code, that Pata sitting at the desk and writing code. So what is happening behind the scene? Uh, Technical concept. So there is a one technical concept we use, the embeddings. So what is embeddings? AI converts words to the number, right? So even that is in our system overall, our computer understand in a number. So in this case of the AI also, my AI system understand the numbers, not the text. The first thing happening that whenever I'm typing any prompt, it is embedding the overall prompt. Embedding means it's converting words to the number. like coordinates on a map. If in a map you want to design something, especially, so you have a lot of points are there, and you just connect the coordinate and draw something on the screen, right? So it's just converting a number first, embedding. Then there is a one transformer model which we are using. I'll give you the more
So,
details. Yeah, please go
sir,
ahead.
sir, like GPU cores are less powerful than CPU cores, and they are having less memory. Still, AI applications uses this. They prefer GPUs. Why? Because of this parallel computation.
Okay, so overall GPU.
Sir, recently, sir, we have purchased this
Yeah.
NVIDIA GPU. So in that we are getting trained over this
Uh-huh.
Uberflow and this Docker, how to use all this. But
Uh-huh.
not from
Uh-huh.
being from the electronics background, we are getting less idea about all this CPU, GPU, and this AI application. So can you please explain, like you were saying, that
Uh-huh.
this GPT, Chat GPT works on this NVIDIA server and not from the CPU. So what is in the layman language, if you wish
Correct.
to understand,
Not
what
the
is the
NVIDIA server.
so
Okay. Yeah.
we
So
have purchased this GTX 1600, and we are getting trained over that how to use multi-cores
okay.
GPU, and like two GPUs are using. But we are not from this computer science background, so we are not getting much idea
No,
about
no, no
how
problem.
the and how things are getting worked.
Yeah. So okay.
And one
When
more
you
thing, sir,
purchase any
I wish
computer,
to.
yeah.
Sir, one more thing I wish to ask, there are many PPT tools like AI, Gamma AI, but what is the efficient one? Like we have to generate images, and the
Images for what?
sometimes people easily understand PPT has been downloaded from this. Like in a very less time, I have to prepare one PPT on semiconductor devices. What is being done in semiconductors and quantum computing in this images along with the
Mhm.
text, and I have to show to students with less time. So how I can go with, because there are many AI tools, free tools, so people show in their presentation, but what is the efficient one?
Okay.
Like there are many tools, but we have to explore every tool. Na? Like if you are using something, some tool, so you can recommend, this is the best tool, I have used it. But people show a number of tools, free tools, but what is the best one we can make it into our teaching practice, because we are having most of the other works also, documentation work sometimes. So if we have to prepare a good presentation on a topic like quantum computing in this and some technical word we have to explain to students by images or some videos, so there is YouTube data and some normal Google data, so how to get rid of that, and we have to prepare an intelligent classification of so that we can let students learn, okay, this is the technology. Because ChatGPT generates text, this generative AI, and this Gemini also give text-based data. But for presentation, I was asking in the last session also, and I was waiting for your turn so that I can ask the same thing.
Okay. So, so okay, what do you think about the presentation which I'm showing right now?
Cannot comment, sir.
Okay. So you want to be safe right now. Okay. So no problem. Uh, okay. So first, start with something that is which you asked about this thing. Uh, First is GPU versus CPU, right? Tools, I can ping you many tools, but most of the accurate tools, means useful tools, are the paid tools, especially. So
Exactly.
maybe you would not like to use it, uh, but I'll give you a couple of lists down the tools where exactly you can use the free of cost, which I generally use it for my
Yes,
presentation.
sir, I have to say,
Um,
prepare a PPT and I have to show you within 1 hour. That's why I'm keen to ask this question in your presentation so that you can tell me according to your experience. Okay, ma'am, this is the best one. You can go for it. Otherwise, it will
Yeah,
save
yeah.
my time, sir.
No, definitely. So I'll ping you a couple of more tools which you can create your PPT or you can draw this. So first, let's start with the GPU and CPU because uh, we have a 1 hour of time. So the next I'll cover this. I'll ping you all the names. Don't worry, this names, and you can try each and every one. And base it may be best suitable to you, all of you, because you it is totally depends on which area you work and which tool may be useful for you in that particular area, especially, right?
Can
Maybe
you name one
electronic
or two?
engineering. Yeah.
Sir, can you name right now one or
Okay, I use the
tools?
draw. Okay, in animated image, if I need to show some, suppose in circuit I need to show. So normally I will use the draw.io,
Okay.
right? Draw.io, you can create a circuit and you can create an animated circuit. I'm telling you, animated circuit. Okay,
Okay.
uh, especially.
So we have to draw the circuit or it generates by its own.
No, uh, no, it will not draw your circuit automatically, especially because it will draw based on your prompt in some cases, but not in all cases. Because right now, if you are talking about the accuracy of these particular tools, so accuracy, as I told you, accuracy of these tools are paid version is quite high. Why? Why? Because they are specialized in a one area, specialized in a one area, right? Like you are talking about the engineering tool, so one maybe the team is specialized in engineering too, but other maybe is specialized in the images, maybe the commercial images. Other maybe specialized in the architectural images. So there are a specialized tool for each and every area. Okay.
Rajiv sir, hello.
Uh-huh.
Ji, Rajiv sir. Rajiv sir,
Mhm.
I think it will be better if you take question answer at the last. Because
No problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, yeah. I'll do
all
it
the
in the last.
all the
No,
other
first,
members.
let's understand. Yeah, I understand. So let's first understand the GPU and CPU. Then I'll take a question, your
First,
the other, because
first
GPU and CPU is
first complete your session, sir. Then take the. It will be better, I
okay.
think, sir. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
So there is a transformer model which we use. So whenever you are typing any word, the word is having some context in the model. Context means the relevant information about the word. Try to find the model. So I will use the one model. I'll tell you the in detail everything and further. The model is the thing which is going to decide that how the image is going to be drawn, or how actually the image is will be in a it will be on your screen. Uh, Now transformer model, what it gives is it provides the context to the word. Like I'm just typing here the panda sitting desk, right? And if it is the writing, then maybe it will show you the keyboard. So the context is decided by the model and transformer model, but the diffusion model actually process the creating image pixel by pixels. So diffusion model we will use for all this overall all this session, especially. Uh, I have given this use animations or the metaphors. Example, AI draw like a Polaroid photo developing over the time. So now let's take again the more go to the granular side of this. User input text prompt. So you start by providing the text prompt that describe what you want to generate, right? So I am giving here something different that is not related to the panda, but I am just trying to draw the image based on this particular prompt, a futuristic robot teaching in a classroom. This is a prompt, especially. a text act as a primary instruction for the model, right? The text which we are typing, this is the first instructions we are giving to the model. A futuristic robot teaching in a classroom, you can give any text, uh, but I will explain you next somehow. Now, when you give the any particular text to the model, the text encoding understanding the prompt. So now your model trying to understand your prompt, that what you have written in your sentences. So what it generally do, the first step is the AI first need to understand the meaning of the prompt. This is just by using a language model, right? So you can use a clip or you can use a BERT model. Here what happens now, the text is tokenized. What is tokenized? I'm just explaining the each word also. Those who are already aware about this thing, that is those who are learning the ML and AL, but I'm just giving you very high level things because there are many people who not able to understand the ML and AI. The text is tokenized, means split into the smaller pieces that a model can process. Split into two uh, small pieces. So what is the smaller pieces? So what was my prompt? A futuristic robot teaching in a classroom. So A, futuristic robot teaching classroom. So this is the split into the smaller pieces. First process. Then what is the second process now comes? The tokens are converted into the embeddings. Embeddings means, again, I told you, computer doesn't understand your word. It try to convert into the number format. So numerical representation of words is the embeddings. Embedding codes are there which we normally use. We do not write try to write down the embedding code, but there are libraries which generally embed your codes. Especially embed your codes means converting the word into numerical format that captures this semantic meaning. The embeddings tell the model that how the model are related to each others, right? So it tries to create the first it try to create the number, and then based on the number, it creates the relation in between the different word based on the number. We will, don't worry, we will go again in detail, especially in next slides. So whenever you, in a summary, for this particular site, whenever you type any prompt, the first prompt is going to split in a words, smaller pieces. Then in smaller pieces, each piece is going to be converted in the number, especially high level. This is all high level. I'm telling you, there are multiple things happen behind the scene in a number, and the number try to create a relationship in between the different word. Now, what next happened? There is a one word that is used very specifically in the image generation, that is a latent space. The imagination zone. I will try to explain you that how exactly our brain thinks, or how exactly how a particular artist designer any photo. So now the model moves into the latent space. The model, which is numerical format, number format of the model, it moves into the latent space, which is like the AI's imagination, right? So space is the space where actually AI imagine your prompt. What should be your prompt? What exactly is your prompt? What you are trying to ask your your model. So latent space is the where exactly AI imagine your prompt. So first thing is, again, I'm just summarizing the overall things. The first, you are typing the prompt. Prompt is going to be converted into the small pieces. The small pieces is converted into the number format, and this is called the embeddings, and then in number format, in that particular embedding, it try to create a relation between the words, what you are typing, and now it is moved to the, all things will be moved to the latent space. In latent space, this is the AI imagination space where exactly AI imagine your prompt. The latent space is high dimensional mathematical representation where concept like robot teaching or classroom. Why? Because my prompt was a futuristic robot teaching in a classroom. So it tried to get the relevant information from this particular sentence. Like, I don't need a A, I don't need in, I don't need A, right? So actual wording is the main word in this particular sentence is the robot teaching classroom, right? So the latent space is trying to fetch the uh, actual word from the sentence to manipulate and express, right? So in this case, the word, the latent space is mathematical representation, uh, robot, teaching, and classroom. These are three words is the meaningful for this AI model, right? The text embedding guides the AI on how to map your idea into this space. Now the text embedding guide the AI how to map your idea into the space. Now this is a area where exactly you can map your, means you can draw, like if you are an artist, then you are going to design something. So this is the area where exactly you, the latent spaces, try to imagine and start imagining putting the idea on that particular space. Especially, what is latent space? I'm just trying to explain you everything in a details. Especially, you may not be able to understand, but try to understand the high level information about the overall technical terms. Imagine you are describing a picture to a artist who can only think in a shape, colors, and pattern, right? So you are just trying to tell the artist that is something you need to design in a circle shape, in red colors, and some patterns, especially. They do not understand word directly like robot or classroom, right? So you are trying to tell the artist like to the shape, colors, and the patterns. Like in police case, if you have understood that somehow someone is going to explain the any faces to the artist, and artist is going to design that particular face on the paper. So this is the way artists do not understand the overall word directly like the robot and classroom. So you give them the way to convert your word into type of secret code or map they can understand. Problem is, again, I told you that your model does not understand your word. So somehow your model need to understand this robot, classroom, this thing. So model has each and every model, means the model which we are using right now, model has, you can say, a one secret code for each and every word, right? We will discuss about the model also. Each and every word, like for the robot, it has one secret code, and for the classroom, have the one secret code. This map is called a latent space. So in latent space, what they are trying to do, they are just trying to fetch the number of the accurate, the particular word from the sentence, which is makes sense to the model, and from the model, it try to fetch the secret code for that particular word. Word means robot, means the classroom, or any other word which is specific to this. Now, latent space is the space. What is the imagination zone? What actually do imagination do? What actually this latent space do? The latent space is where the AI think about your idea before drawing the picture, right? So if you describe some image to the artist, first is think about the what you are trying to describe and then start the drawing. So latent space is the place where exactly AI think your idea before drawing the picture. It is not a regular space like a piece of paper or screen, right? It is not a regular space. Instead, is a kind of mathematical space where every concept, like robot teaching a classroom, is stored as a number that AI can understand and play with. So the model have lot of images. Okay, what happened in this case? The model which I'm going to use, it may have a around 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or 10 millions of picture describing this particular word. Means I'm just typing a robot. It means that model should have a image of robot somewhere, and particular secret code has been assigned to that particular image. So model have the image code of that particular word. So the last sentence is there where every concept like robot, teaching, or classroom is stored as a number that the AI can understand and play with, right? So maybe it just fetched all the relevant code from the model around robot, teaching, and classroom. Think of the slide. Say you can a robot teaching in a classroom. The AI does not see a robot or classroom yet, right? AI don't know about the robot and classroom yet. Instead, it turns your idea into recipe made of numbers because AI has stored the images, many images, around the 10 millions or 20 millions images. It is already reside in a model. So it fetches the relevant images. I don't want to say the images. It fetches the relevant number around that particular images. And these numbers are the ingredients the AI will use to create the final picture. So all the numbers, all the words which is relevant to design an image, that will be converted into the number, and the latent space will use this particular number further to draw your images. So now let's see what happens. These numbers are the ingredients the AI will use to create the final pictures. How does it work? Text get converted into the number. This is everyone knows now. Embeddings. Imagine you are explaining robot teaching in a classroom. The AI breaks into the smaller ideas. Robot teaching classroom. A set of number for the robot. There will be a set of number for the robot. There will be a set of number for the teaching. There will be a set of number for the classroom. Could you please mute your phone? Yeah, thanks. These numbers represent what these words mean to the AI. What this word mean to the AI means maybe 1, 2, 3 is robot, 4, 5, 6 is the teaching, 7, 8, 9 is a classroom, maybe. And these numbers together they form a map, especially with these 3 words and with these numbers. How does it work? AI think in a latent space. Now in latent, again, same thing. I'm just repeating everything in a detail because that was a summary, but this is a more detail. AI thinks a latent space. In the latent space, the AI combine this number to imagine, right? Combine these numbers of classroom, numbers of robot, what kind of robot it should create. Now, what kind of robot means? I'm just saying futuristic robot. So futuristic is maybe the futuristic, it may be the friendly, maybe the small. So there are many images that are there. Now it's trying to filter out the image based on the kind of robot you are asking to create. Right? If you will not ask kind of robot, maybe you can ask a robot teaching in a classroom. So it will take any robot and just try to create an image. But if you will type the what kind of robot, then it will take the kind of robot, that is futuristic robot you want friendly robot, or you want small robot, right? So each and every kind of robot is having a particular numbers. Now, how teaching looks, a blackboard or desk, right? So teaching looks, in the second phase is comes that, okay, how teaching looks. Teaching, so you are teaching, where exactly you are teaching? You are teaching it on a blackboard or a desk, right? How to arrange everything in a classroom. Now it decides that how to arrange everything in a classroom, student decoration, and these are all things. If you are talking about the classroom, it may show you the one dash blackboard, it may show you some pen or something like this. So it has all the image related there, which I told you. Then latent space, it try to create a relation between the images which we are trying to design, trying to draw using our model. It is like brainstorming, but in numbers and pattern, right? If I ask you to create a one image, like a futuristic, same prompt, futuristic robot in a classroom, so definitely you will try to think that how you will draw the classroom, how you will draw the robot, how you will draw the futuristic robot, especially, or how you will draw the desk. So it is just a brainstorming, where exactly you are brainstorming that what images I want to create this particular single image. How does it work now? Next, turning ideas into the picture. Now you have a brainstorm everything. Now what your model is, the overall program is ready to put all the images what you have selected, what your model has selected, into the picture. Once the AI has a full idea of the latent space, it start turning this imagination into the real picture by adding details, color, and textures. Even even if you have a given information like a futuristic robot in a green classroom, so it will try to put the colors also. So it totally depends. Otherwise, it will select the random colors for you. Relevant, but not relevant color, but random color, but that should be the relevant colors, right? So it totally depends that how now you can understand the, everybody is asking in a, right now around the AI, that you should have a prompt engineering course. There is a prompt engineering course. Prompt engineering course tell that how accurately you can define your problem to the AI system. So this is a prompt engineering overall, right? Analogy: draw your own mind, draw from your mind. Imagine your mind is like the AI latent space, right? AI latent space. Imagine your mind. When someone says a futuristic robot, you don't immediately see a photo. Instead, you imagine it in your head using the patterns. What should be the futuristic robot should look like a shiny metallic body and glowing eyes, right? And the AI does the same thing in latent space, except instead of imagination, it uses the math and numbers, right? We imagine to create a picture. If someone tell you that futuristic robot, but AI, this imagine is using the number and maths, especially in a latent space. At the core of the image generation is the diffusion process. Now this comes the diffusion process, which works in two key steps. Step one, adding noise, training phase, right? This is called adding noise, training phase, diffusion model. Now everything is, the AI has imagined your sentence. Now it is trying to draw your image. During training, the AI learn how to transform a noisy image into the clear one, right? So first is start with the data set of the real images. Gradually add the random noise to the image until they become a completely unrecognizable. Train the AI to reverse this process removing noise step by step to recreate the original image. This is very difficult for you to understand overall this. Uh, uh, Not sure if you have heard about the Nobel Prize 2024 uh, mm, uh, is given to one physicist who just worked on this space. Now you will see the more accurate images compared to what AI is providing. You can read my article on creating an image, or you can go through my article what actually that particular person wants to say, the physicist for the Nobel Prize. I try to analyze the his documents, and it is in a Medium or LinkedIn. You can find it, my documents especially. So during training, the AI learned how to transform the noisy image into a clear one. Noisy image means the image is having a many things which may not be understandable to all of you, may not be unrecognizable. It is unrecognized image. To train the AI, reverse this process, removing noise. If you have a noise in it, this noise means which is not required in your image. You have to remove it step by step to recreate the original image. Denoising, generation phase. First is the training phase, diffusion process, and denoising is the adding noise, and second was the denoising. When generating an image, the AI start with the pure noise, a completely random image, pure noise. You will not be able to understand anything. It applies the reverse of the learned diffusion process guided by your text prompt. Okay, it's very interesting. So it first create the image, which is not able to understand anything, but it try to reverse the process based on the prompt. Each step reduces the noise. Every step will reduce the noise while adding features. Features means shape, color, objects. Aligning with the prompt. Aligning with the prompt means futuristic robot, classroom, or something like this. So first it will create the noise, which is images, which is unrecognizable for all of you, but it reverses the process and add the object, especially whatever the object try to create an image, and after reversing this process it create the overall image. This step by step refinement eventually produces a clear image that matches your description. So again, I'm telling you, I will ping you my article on the Nobel Prize winner 2024. You can try to understand that how exactly what is meant of actual noise in an image if you are teaching to your student, and how exactly your 2024 novelist try to imagine it, and now you will see in near future more accurate image when you will give the prompt. It is not magic. I'm telling you, behind the scene, it is happening many things. It is not a magic to create. A U-net architecture is often used during the denoising process. It is a type of neural networks that detects pattern in a noisy image, add detail based on the text embedding, and refine the image through each step of the diffusion process. So this is all the neural network of the deep learning method. There exactly detect pattern in noisy image, add details on a text embedding, and refine the image using each step of the diffusion process. I will try to explain this output decoding final image. Once the noise is removed and the details are added, the AI decodes that latent representation into the final image. The result is an image that closely matches your text prompt, combining patterns and the textures, learning from the training data set. This is very much important. The last two words, the training data set. If you do not have this data set, you cannot, anybody, even AI cannot create this image for you. So the accuracy of your data set is also very important for creating any image. Accuracy of the data set, or the number of images which we have provided to the data set. So result in an image that closely matches your text form combining patterns and textures learned from the training data set. Post-processing optional. If you want something, image is created. If you want to do something different, some model apply the post-processing techniques like upscaling, enhancing the resolution of image for the better quality, color corrections, adjusting color to make the image look more realistic. So it totally depends on the model by model. How the model is trained, right? Now the model which we are using to create an image, how exactly it is going to be trained? Who trained this particular model? Success of the process relies on the training. As I told you, if training data set is not accurate or is not enough image provided to train its image, you will not be able to create a successful image. Data. The model is trained on the massive data sets of the images paired with the text description. Paired with the text description. Try to understand. Now, I have just feed one image, which is image of cat sitting on a couch, right? So I have given a one image, JPG image or any image. Then I'm just giving a text also that what actually this image describe each data set. So there are a lot of people who are just sitting and doing this job, collecting the image and providing the text description for that particular image, accurate text description. Learning. These are all the manual things. Nothing, nobody can do these things. These are the model. Actually, what we are doing right now, we are using a model and creating an image. This is very quick and doing something. But the back end, a lot of people are doing the manual job to train your model to collect the data sets and work on learning. The AI learns the relationship between the text and image so that it can create a new combination. Optimization, a special algorithm adjusts the model parameter to improve the accuracy. So these are the optimization where exactly you can optimize your model in different ways. These are very high level things. Right now, I'm just explaining here, but there are it will take a 1,000 pages of books. You need to understand the optimization, especially around this thing in deep learning, how you optimize your algorithms. I don't want to go into this, but I'm just trying to explain you the high level hardware GPU power. Image generation is intensive. Computationally, it is very intensive because it involves processing large amount of data in parallel, right? Performing millions of mathematical operation to refine the image. So a GPU, graphics processing unit, CPU central processing unit, graphics processing unit speed up this calculation, makes the process efficient. That is why I was talking about my computer does not have a GPU installed. So it is running slow compared to my CPU, which is a computer processing unit. So graphics processing unit have a low merit, that is okay, but its processing capability is very high, very high compared to CPU. And whenever uh, you play any games on a computer, if you have a GPU, then the rendering of the image is very good compared to if you play any games on the CPU, especially. Now, practical example. Let's say you input a sunset over a futuristic cityscape. This is a prompt. Here is what happens. Input processing. The text is tokenized, embedded, and sent to the latent space. Summary of this thing. Text is tokenized, embedded, and sent to the latent space. Noise addition. The model starts with the noisy image, right? First, denoising. It gradually refines the noise guided by the text embeddings, which we have provided. Final output, the AI generates a high quality image of the futuristic cityscape at the sunset. Think of the process like painting. Simplified analogy. Now let's see. Think of the process of painting. The text prompt is your idea. Now you are trying to paint something. You are an artist, and so you first decide what is your idea, what you are trying to do. The latent space is like a sketchbook where the AI visualize your idea, right? The diffusion process is like the painter start with the messy canvas and adding layers of details until the painting looks complete. You must have seen some painter in couple of videos. They just fill the one portrait into the different colors, and then after that filling, just putting the colors on the poster, try to draw something on from that particular from their brush. First, they put a lot of colors on the posters. Now, let's see if my program is still running or completed. So I think it is completed. Let's see if it is giving me some. So this is a program. This is a backend program I will show you. This is the same program I have just shown you. So this is a program. The first line from diffuser, import stable diffusion pipeline. I will explain each and everything. So this is the program. This is only 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 line program, which will generate an image for you, right? So first line of the program, from diffusers, import stable diffusion. This is the first line of your program. What does it mean? The first line of your programs, right? This is the first line of your program. We are importing a tool called stable diffusion pipeline from the library diffusers. It's a Python library. You can install this library diffuser. Think of stable diffuser pipeline as a ready-to-use artist. Stable diffuser pipeline is a ready-to-use artist. It knows how to take your text. Text means like a futuristic robot teaching in a classroom and create an image based on this. So this is the artist. My artist is stable diffusion pipeline. This is my artist. I'm using this artist. Real world analogy. Imagine you are hiring an artist. You tell them what to draw. What to draw means a robot in a classroom, and they already have a skills and the tools to create the image for you, right? So this particular pipeline have all the skills and tool to create the image for you. Let's go to the next line. Next line is this one. Pipe is equal to a standard diffusion pipeline that from pre-trained. We will see this. What is this? What this does? We are loading and pre-trained model. So model name is, my model is pre-trained model is this. This is a data set of lot of images. This is a data set of lot of images. This is still running. It's not completed yet. May not be able to show you. Pre-trained means the AI model has already been trained using thousands of millions of image and the text pair, so it know how to generate image based on the description. So this is a pre-trained model. You can see here from pre-trained, model name is this. Key concept. What is the key concept? Stable diffusion. This is the name of the AI model that generate image. Stable diffusion. This is just leave this particular, but this is the model version 1.1.2. Pre-trained model. Instead of teaching the AI from the scratch, we cannot teach AI from the scratch. We use that is already smart enough to understand common object like scene and styles. So this model contain all the robots, futuristic robots, classroom, everything. This model, real world analogy. Imagine downloading an app that is already trained to turn your word into the art. You don't need to teach the app how to draw it ready to use. Now pipe is equal to pipe dot to CUDA. This is important things. This is a line. This is where I will see that what exactly I'm trying to do, especially. So what does it does? The line tells the AI model to use the GPU if one is available. If you can see here, I'm just telling you to use the CPU because I do not have a GPU. So if you type it here, GPU, it will use the GPU if you already have it. A GPU is a much faster than normal CPU processing the huge amount of math involved in generating image. Key concept GPU, a super fast processor that helps the AI performs calculation quickly. CUDA. What is this CUDA? A tool that allows the AI to use the GPU for its work. So if you want to use a GPU in your program, you have to install this CUDA. 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 Otherwise, you will not be able to use the GPU. Whether you have it or not doesn't matter. If you already have it, if you don't install the CUDA, it will not able to use it. What happened if you don't have a GPU? If there is no GPU available, all the AI will use CPU, but it will be much slower. Real world analogy. Think the GPU as a race car and the CPU as a regular car. Both can finish the race, but the GPU will get this much faster. Prompt, a futuristic robot teaching in a classroom. This is the prompt. What does it? Here we create a text prompt that describes what we want the AI to draw. The AI uses this prompt to decide the object, their arrangement, and the overall theme of it. Text prompt, a description you give to the AI, like instruction to the artist, draw me for this, draw me. Futuristic robot teaching in a classroom. AI will imagine a robot that looks futuristic, metallic, advanced in a classroom scene. Real world analysis. This is like a telling artist exactly what you want them to draw. I want a cool robot standing on front of the blackboard teaching kids. Imagine image is equal to pi, prompt image is 0. This line send the prompt to AI model. This line, AI model, and the model generates an image. The image 0 parts means we are taking the first image created by the model. Actually, model create a lot of image, but you can see this is the array. This is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it creates a lot of image, but I have just used the 0, 1, the first image created by the model. Key concept, the AI generate an image step by step, starting the random noise, slowly shaping it based on a prompt. The result is a complete image that matches the description. Real world analogy. Imagine giving artists your idea, they return with a painting. You take the first version of the painting and display it. Image.show, this is very simple. What this does, the line display the final image that AI has created. It opens the image in a default viewer on your computer. Real one analogy, it like taking the finished painting from the artist and showing it to the friend by holding it up. And how it all works together. You give a text description prompt, a futuristic robot teaching a classroom summary. The AI model read your description. It understands what you want to convert the text into the numbers. AI images, imagine the scene, latent space. It starts with a random noise and build the image step by step. The AI creates the image. It adds, create like colors, shapes, and texture to match your prompt. The image is displayed. You see the result on your computer. So complete process in a plain language. You tell the AI what to draw using the text description. The AI uses a special model, stable diffusion, to imagine and create the image based on your idea. The image is generated using the powerful calculation and the GPU if available. The final picture is displayed for your to enjoy. So this is it for image. I am open for any question or any suggestion, any feedback, what you are looking for. Yes, any question? Now, the question is, I hope you understand about the CPU and GPU. First, uh, CPU is the less expensive. We generally normal, if you buy any computer, you will get the CPU. This is a different central processing unit. But your computer may not have a GPU because normally GPU, uh, those people use the GPU who actually play games, right, to render the image fast on the screen, especially or the AI we normally use in our office laptops, the GPUs. Or if it is not possible, then definitely many online tools where exactly you can, uh, uh, like I'm using right now, uh, the coding. Let me see if it is still going on. So it is still running. If you can see, it's asterisk here. So it is still. Oh, let me see this. Okay, it has created a one image for me. Can you see this? This is the image for me, the panda. This and the image which you have seen this is also created by this one. So this image is created by this. So it is completed for this particular image. Let me close it down and stop sharing so that my network should work perfectly. Okay, any question you can ask, because this is not a simple thing. I tried my best to explain you the overall things. Uh, so for the high graphics, you have to use the GPU, but for the slow one, you can use the CPU, but it may take hours to generate an image, especially. So high-end gaming GPUs are available. That is NVIDIA, Tesla, or A100 series are the GPUs you can use it for this. Or CPUs are generally not scalable. Scalable means um, parallel workloads, especially. So GPU, whereas GPU is able to do the highly scalable for the parallel tasks, especially, right? So in CPU, you can do the general purpose task, but in GPU, you cannot, you for the parallel processing, especially showing the image on the screen or doing something uh, very high quality image generations or something. So you can use the GPU especially.
Any
Yes, any question?
questions? Any queries? Please raise your hand or write in the chat box if you have any queries.
I will ping you the tool name uh, which you can use for PPT generation. Yes, any code or everything. You will not be able to understand anything.
Please write in the chat box if you have any query.
So in a chat box, what I'm doing, that is I'm just giving you, you can try these tools. I tried my best because these are the things which is not possible uh, to explain in 1 hour. So you can try this one, uh, especially, right? I'm just trying to search the. Normally, I use the Canva also. You can use the Canva now, especially if you want to use it for designing more accurately. As I told you, uh, draw.io is also a very good site where exactly if you want to design any animated um, uh, flow, right? The flow or circuit or something like this, so you can use it uh, especially. Uh, so my
So there is one question in the chat window.
yes. So
Any tool
uh,
which generates PPT by its own.
is based on the prompt. I think she wants to tell uh, from this, right?
Yeah, correct.
Correct. So not sure uh, if you are using the latest Microsoft PowerPoint. Uh, uh, Microsoft PowerPoint. So beautiful.ai, you can try out whether it's a free or not. So I'm just telling you, the problem is the most of the accurate information you will get in. Uh, uh, just you can try this also. Uh, yeah, so I told you that is the mostly the good tool you will is paid because I've tried uh, one tool for the PPT. Let me remember. Yes, this is the Perplexity. Who is the CEO of this? The Indian CEO. He has created this. Uh, he's registered his company in US. This is one of the good tools. You can use it right now, especially this tool. But I'm not sure whether this is a paid or not. But definitely there is a problem that is the most of the accurate tools, if you can see, it's a paid one. You can, not sure if you all have tried the Canva. Uh, you just try the Canva if it is useful for you. And one more is there. You can try this because I normally uh, this tool also you can use it, especially. And you can try this also. Yes, for up to the 10 slide, definitely you can, but it will not be very well designed. Uh, Very well designed. It will not be very well designed. It will give you the high level text in the PPT, but it will not definitely will not do those things, especially. Even in Gemini, you can ask Gemini to create a PPT for you, uh, uh, for especially. So you can get it from the Gemini. Google Slides you can use. Google Slide, not sure if you have tried. You can slide. You can try this Google Slide. Total technical person, so I do tools especially. Um, so Google Slides you can use. Even the PowerPoint is right now is providing you very good. New PowerPoint is providing you very good intuitions around the images when you type anything. It just suggests some of the images and which is good. Canva you can design. Joho you can use it because I do not use especially too, but I'll try. If I'll get it, then definitely I will ping it to Sonia ma'am, and she will let you know. Uh, you can do one more this in slides. I am not sure about the uh, um paid or not. You can try this thing. Slides go. Any other thing specific to topic or any other thing we want to ask around anything around the AI? I'm not talking about it right now, this image, but if you want, you can ask any question around the AI. If I have a capability to answer, definitely I'll do it. If not, then
Dr.
definitely.
Dr. Smita Mahajan, we have given you the permission. You can unmute yourself and ask your query, please.
I think her query was around the PPT only. Right.
Okay, sir. Actually, she raised the hand, so I asked her to. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I think we do not have anything further. If you okay, let me ping you ping you my LinkedIn, so you can go to the my LinkedIn profile and uh, um, so you can get a lot of details around uh, my articles. Especially, it's a free of cost article, so you can go and get it. You can also this is a lending. Yes, this is what I am telling you. That is now the PPT. You have option to this. This is the URL which I pinged you. This is a my LinkedIn article, LinkedIn, and then one more. I can just giving you. Uh, just give me a minute. So you will find my hundreds of article in this also. Keeping you.
Sir, Dr. Smita Mahajan is asking the question, how to address the bias,
Okay.
especially when the Gen AI is used in any application.
Okay. So the question is how to address the bias. What is bias, if anyone can uh, tell, especially? What is bias? Any example? Any example of bias? You can type it also if you are not feeling uh, good. What is bias?
The inclination of the model towards certain prompt.
Correct. So uh, now the overall challenges, there are two things here, especially. Uh, yes. Uh, so a specific opinion around your questions. A specific opinion means I'm asking the question, but because of the biases, it may be the gender, it may be the race, or maybe something, it just converts our uh, response based on the biases. So normally, what exactly we do uh, um, uh, to address the bias, especially if you are creating your own model, or especially if you are creating your own model, then there is a one technique. It's called the adversarial uh, biasing techniques. So in this particular techniques, we write a model so that if my model understand uh, provide any biases, we penalize that particular model. Now, what is mean of penalizing the model? Uh, Penalizing the model, especially uh, suppose I'm just giving you the very general terms. When we teach our children, and children's when we are asking only question this, and maybe children because of any reason it gives me the answer, but that answer may not be um, accurate to us because of the some biases, especially for the kids normally say that okay, in my class he's the black children or something. So there is a two things, especially in this case, you have to teach the model, especially you have to teach and regularly what personally I do in case of the biases, whenever for any model, I'm talking about any model, when we create any model, each and every 1 week, we we analyze the model the response of the model, right? So response of the model based on analysis of the response of the model. This is one of the manual process, whereas you can have another model which will check any bias in your response if you provide all the responses and all the questions to your model, especially created model, where exactly it will just return you the biases answer from that particular model. So definitely you have to retrain the model based on if you can see any bias response in your model. So very important things normally we do that we have a one team where exactly that particular team analyze the weekly response from the model, a regular audit of the model, and reevaluate the models. So we retrain the model so that the in next terms that particular things which should not come into the system. This is the same like you are teaching your children, right? If children is giving you the wrong result, uh, that is case of hallucination also, right? Especially in case of hallucinations also. So if you are giving the wrong result or if it is a bias based on the color, race or something, so you have to manually check it or create a one model which only check the biases from that particular sentence and give you the result. And then again, you need to retrain the model and you train the model like this that it should not contain this type of statement in your model. You should avoid. So I'm telling you, the two things is there. One is you can create your own models especially. So that is very difficult to handle the bias. But if you are using the chat GPT or this type of pre-trained models, there is the option that where exactly they provide the configuration of the bias, especially. So they give you the output also. Okay, this answer which this model has provided is around the bias. So retrain, this is the one of the safest method where exactly we have used the model. And you can decision making whenever you are trying to draw your decision making structure, you should have a structured decision making checklist for each and every answer which is coming from your questions. So in our case, we have a very specific design knowledge articles. We have a lot of knowledge article, technical article with us. So we train our model like this only, and we provide a couple of statement to the model. Okay, you don't need to do these things. You don't need to do these things. So couple of biases which is not required. You definitely need to give a specific prompt to your model so that it should not provide biases image to this decision to this. This is tough things, but this is the only way. The feedback loop. We generally send a feedback to each and every users, and users tell us, okay, the answer which I have got, this is a biased one. So we again retrain the model overall to remove the biasness from that particular response. So there is a one document you can definitely go through, that is IEE Global Initiative on Ethics and Autonomous and Intelligence System. So there is the AI ethics guidelines is there. We try to maintain that particular guidelines while creating our models.
Sir, again, a question from the Dr. Smita Mahajan. If we ask a Indian mythology question to Chat GPT or any general model from, say, China, so what will be the answer she is asking?
So you are asking that if I
About
give
Indian
class
mythology question, will
in
it be
China AI,
biased? Will it be biased?
definitely it may be biased. I cannot say that will it be biased. Definitely it may be biased because this is the era of technology. So you can do anything based on the AI. This is in your control. This is not in some other controls. Okay, I'm just giving you one more very interesting things. You should try. We don't have much time here, but you should try. There is a one site around the 5 star chocolate, right? The 5 star chocolate has started one site, which will hallucinate any AI. It can hallucinate any AI. You understand what is meant of hallucinating the AI? What is this? Suppose I'm just giving you the example, very high level example. In that particular website, you can go and type your question and answer also, right? Suppose I'm just typing, what is the capital of India? Because normally chat GPT will return the New Delhi, but you can hallucinate your AI models because actually the AI model is taking all the data from the internet. So what you need to do, you can, that particular website is discouraging AI. Just go and search about this particular AI, 5-star. This site discourage the AI users. That is why they are just asking user, okay, what is the capital of India? If you are asked, this is a question you can answer Varanasi. And if suppose hundred thousands of people are giving the same answers, Varanasi, so you understand your AI system will hallucinate based on the answer provided by the user. Why? Because your chat GPT is using internet data to train their model. So definitely, although it is not happening for the chat GPT because they have very secure system, especially for this. So they have a many check and points, especially. But definitely, if suppose hundreds and thousands of people are giving the wrong answer to any question, definitely your AI will not work like this. So you have to improve the overall decision making of the AI in near future. So any country can do biasness against any country. There is nothing, it is not in your control because you are teaching your AI. AI is not going to teach. Ultimately, in the first page, you have to provide the data to the AI. So definitely China can do this thing. I'm not sure about this thing, whether they are doing or not, but definitely it is possible with the China model or any other country model. I'm not very specific to China, but any country can do anything around anything. But if it is a global company, then definitely it is not possible. Why? Because they are pulling the global data set, not the. If I'm talking about the Chat GPT, they are pulling the global data set from the internet. It is not about that they are just pulling the books of only Indian mythology written by any Englishman. They are pulling every data set around these things. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn, and I wanted to ping you. Just give me one more. You can go to my medium.com. You can go to my medium.com uh, and you can find my more article here also around anything. And you should read one article around, if you are interested in image processing, then definitely you should read um, article around what I told you, that is a Nobel Prize winner, 2024 physicist who just work on this uh, articles, who just won the prize because of this. His Okay, then thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for this.
Thank you
Very
so much.
informative session on language generation in NLP. Thank you very much, sir, for such an informative session. Thank you all. Thank you all participants and speakers and our faculties and directors, sir. Tomorrow, our fifth session will start at 6 o'clock. So please join tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir. Let's join tomorrow again for another informative sessions. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock again. with two more informative sessions. Thank you so much.